In today's episode, I wanted to talk to you about business and running a business and how it is a team sport and the problems that I see when tradies try to run their business like it's an individual sport. So, business can be really difficult, particularly at this time of year. Many people that I'm talking to at the moment are struggling with cash flow, not from lack of work, just simply because the timing around Christmas, you're usually extremely busy to get everything across the line and done for your clients by the Christmas kind of deadline. And then what happens? Everybody goes on holidays, takes a little bit of time off, and clients are often slow to pay or slower to pay than usual. You've had this huge outlay, you've had to pay for your team and your wages, and all the bills have still come out. And then we get to January, February, and sometimes even to March and into April, and things get a little bit tight. Now, what then happens is you come back to work, you hit the ground running, you work really hard, you're getting lots of jobs out the door again, but the cash is not hitting the bank and you're left wondering what is going on. Now, this is where I like to bring it back to reminding you that business is a team sport. Unless you have taken the time and the money to invest in your own education around the financial side of your business, it is very difficult for you to just automatically know how to manage your cash flow, how to manage this time of year particularly, to make sure that you've got enough money to get you through, how to be able to look forward and know you need to have X amount of dollars in the bank to be able to get you through this period of time. So one thing I want to say firstly, and if you remember nothing else from this session, please remember this. You are not expected to know how to manage your cash flow and to manage your money if you have never been taught, if you have never taken the time out to learn more about this part of your business. Now, if you think back to day one of your apprenticeship, now, unless you came from a family of carpenters or plumbers or electricians, chances are you didn't really know very much. You would have been very green. It would have been very difficult for you to complete the jobs you're completing now on day one of your apprenticeship. And I want you to think about your financial side of your business just like that. You're on day one of your financial apprenticeship. There's no way that you could know everything you need to know to manage your money successfully, even if you've been in business for 5, 10, 15 plus years. This stuff doesn't just miraculously happen. Yes, you might have got to this point and done okay. Usually that's just with luck. But what I really want to encourage you to do is have a think about, if you are struggling to manage your cash flow, if you can't look at your Xero file and see exactly how much money you're owed, how much money you owe, exactly how much is in the bank, and that your reconciled items in your Xero are no more than 7 days old, if you can't look at those three things, then maybe now is the time to start putting some time aside and learning more about the financial side of your business. Now, do you need to be the expert? Absolutely not. But you do need to know the basics to be able to make informed decisions, and also for you to be able to build your financial team. I have spoken to, particularly last year, I noticed a significant increase in people who had people on their financial team, but they weren't really sure what each of them were doing, and things were late and overdue, and you still really didn't have any idea what was going on from a financial perspective. And I really want to encourage you, if you don't have an amazing tax accountant, if you don't have an amazing bookkeeper, then you need to reach out to people, start having some conversations, and find those people who are going to be a great fit for you and your business, and a great fit for your further education around the financial side of your business. Now, it all comes down to what your goals are. So, with your financial team, yes, you should have an amazing bookkeeper, and yes, you should have an amazing tax accountant, and you also should have an amazing Profit First coach on your team as well, because the bookkeeper is going to help you with making sure that, well, they should help you, and this is what we do with our clients in my bookkeeping business, Efficient Tradie Bookkeeping. We do a full review of their Xero file when they come on board. We make sure that we find all of those things that aren't quite working correctly. We make sure that we uncover any of those things that are going to cause problems down the track and might surprise us and catch us out. And once we've done that, then we go about repairing that Xero file and making sure it is a healthy file, that it has all the automation set up where we can, that we're making sure all the apps and job management systems and receipt management systems and all of those sorts of programs are all connected correctly, and the information is being shared in a really simple and efficient and correct way. I see so many businesses who we look at their Xero file and everything is out of whack, and it's just as a result of it not being set up correctly. From there, we want to make sure, so from a bookkeeping perspective, you've got all the information is being gathered correctly, which then allows your bookkeeper to keep you up to date every week, to make sure everything is reconciled every month, to make sure that your BAS is done every quarter. They should do a full review of your of that quarter to be able to lodge your BAS for you again, so you're not going to get any surprise BAS bills down the track. And then at the end of the financial year, I usually suggest that you have a tax planning session with your tax accountant around April, May every year, so you can see how you're going in the current year, which then helps them offer you suggestions on what can be done to make sure that you're on track with your tax planning goals, whatever they may be, and they will be different for everybody. Once we have those steps in place, then we also need, which is what I do, is I help people manage their cash day to day. How do we put a system in place where you know exactly what money's coming in, exactly what's going out, making sure that we've got a plan for your debt, so you've got an end date. We make sure that your pricing is correct. We make sure that we can highlight the areas of your business which are costing you money or which are draining the funds from your account. We look at things like, how do you quote? How do you invoice? What's the timeframes around those? What are your terms and conditions, to make sure that we can try and reduce the amount of time from when you finish the job to when you get paid. And if you don't have those three people on board, or those three parts to your team, then I highly recommend that you reach out and have a chat. As I said, I have a bookkeeping business. I also have my Profit First coaching business. My bookkeeping team are amazing at what they do. We are not for everybody. We do things a very specific way. We, make sure that we are following best practices every single time. That is the way that I have set up the business, and that is the way that my team, that's how we believe that it should be done as well. And so that isn't for everybody, and that's perfectly okay. But if you're not loving the bookkeeping at the moment, or if you're not loving or able to look at your Xero file and see exactly where you're at, then my first suggestion is go back to your current bookkeeper and say, hey, I want to be able to look at my Xero file, and I want these three pieces of information: the amount I owe, the amount that's owed to me, and my bank account reconciliation, all to be up to date at least once a week. If they're unable to do that for you, then maybe it's time to find another person. But please make sure that you go back to them first and give them the opportunity to be able to provide a service that you are now letting them know that they need. Because sometimes I find is we forget to communicate that, and then they're doing what they think you want done, and then you've got a different idea in your head, and then there's no communication around it, and there's that mismatch. As I said, if you don't have an amazing bookkeeper, I'm happy to have a chat with you. Just reach out, book a call with me, and we can just discuss what your options are. From a Profit First perspective, many people are doing Profit First in some way, shape or form, which is amazing. And many people I talk to, it is making a difference. And what I want to encourage you to do is to make sure that you have a review of what you're doing at the moment, because with some slight tweaks, it can make such a huge difference to your cash flow. So if you're one of those people who is struggling a bit at the moment with cash flow, plenty of work on, not much money in the bank, then maybe it's time to have a think about what the next step is for you. If you're already doing profit first to a degree, great. Let's have a chat. Let's have a look and see how you can tweak that and improve that to get a much, much bigger return on that. And if you're not doing profit first at the moment, then please reach out, book in a chat. We'll have a conversation, see if it's a good fit for you for now, and then I can give you your options and you can take it from there. But at least you will know what your options are, and then you can make a decision based on all the information rather than it being this time next year and you're still thinking, oh, it happened again. I got through Christmas and now I've got no cash and now I have to work super, super hard to try and catch up. When I work with clients from a profit first perspective, we are setting your business up to be proactive. We don't want to play catch up. We want to know these things are coming and plan for them. So when they happen, we've got the funds aside to get us through these points in time, because catch up is exhausting and it's not fun at all. So if you're the type of business who is kind of playing catch up at this time of the year, now might be the time to book in a chat and we can see if Profit First is going to make a difference to your business.